This is MJ. I love Tokusatsu, and I am here to talk about Kamen Rider Zio, episode 35. I will have a separate episode talking about Kamen Rider Zio, episode 36, and the reason is because I love Kamen Rider Kiva, and episodes 35 and 36 of Zio are all about, well, not really all about, but they feature another Kiva, and I'm hoping that they're going to feature Wataru, because I think I saw him in scans, so... Anyway, here we go. Toshiki Inoue somehow makes me like Yuko and Sogo. And I gotta say there's a precedent for that with characters like Otoya, Jiro, Nago, Maya, and Taiga, all from Kamen Rider Kiva. And the reason I say that, and the reason I'm bringing that up specifically, is because I have chosen to not watch Kamen Rider Zio regularly because it doesn't appeal to me. And I guess I'll briefly say why it doesn't appeal to me. It's that I don't really like the character of Sogo. I do not like his desire to be a king. In fact, because of my, I guess my political philosophy and my outlook on life, like a king is kind of just about the worst thing imaginable to me. And really that's because of the concentration of authority under a king. And, you know, it's a bad thing to have a king, especially when you have a king who turns into a warlord or a dictator, or warlord, I meant overlord, or dictator, or, one of those bad things. And that's exactly what Omazeo is, and that's what, Gates is trying to avoid. And Sogo says he'll avoid, but who knows if he actually will, because there's that temptation of the power. But going along with Inoue, like, pulling a great feat in this episode and making me like Sogo, besides his motivation to be a king and him being pretty flat, besides that, I didn't like his character. I didn't enjoy Sogo as a person. I watched probably 6 episodes, probably the first 4, and then the 2 episodes with Ghost in them. And the reason I watch those is because I really like Ghost too. So, and I think Takeru is a way more engaging character than somebody like Sogo. And anyway, I don't want to get into that argument. But the thing is, Sogo seemed so two-dimensional. Want to be king, everybody I know, and like I will turn into a my royal minister of this thing. And it didn't seem like there was much else to him. And I just didn't get the gravity of him as a character. I think there was something in episode 1 and 2 that seemed a little more interesting, or like there was some meat to the character, and he wasn't just this flat thing that exists, like an empty space filling in the protagonist slot of the show. But hearing that he had been in love as a young boy, 8 years old, 10 years old, or whatever, and that is with this high school girl, that really did something to me. It humanized him, it rounded him out, and it made him seem like a fuller person, especially because Gates was so shocked by that, and he didn't really believe it, and even his uncle was kind of dismissing it. And I, as a young person, had been in love a few times, I would say, and had adults tell me that wasn't the case. And Sogo's 18, right? I agree with him that by 18 he definitely could have, fallen in love, and just kind of made it more interesting. So there's that. But, Yuko is also pretty compelling because she looks like she was framed by her former fiance for a murder, and she rotted in jail because of that. And kind of similarly to Sogo, she is now seeking this kingship so that she can correct things. I think the heroic motivation of Sogo is to become a good and noble king and not a terrible warlord or overlord. And Yuko is going for the same thing. She wants to be a queen, basically to do criminal justice reform, I guess you could say. And that's kind of a neat thing, and it kind of hooks me. And so those were all the story things that I really liked. And I was impressed that that Inoue was able to do that, because I didn't think this would be compelling. And I really found myself rooting for Yuko and Sogo both, because Sogo kind of wants to approach her in a more open-minded way, and really see who she is as a person, and he kind of gloms onto the fact that she is supposedly wrongfully accused. He takes her at face value, he believes her, and she's being cruel. She's being unkind to that time jacker who I don't know her name. And I feel like she was mean to some other people, which should have made me not like her. But overall, if the goal is to become queen so she can do these things, I almost feel, I feel sympathy for that desire because of how she was wronged. And I feel sympathy for Sogo because of how open he's being and how, I guess, soft-hearted he's being. And I guess maybe I feel, or I felt subconsciously, if he's being that benevolent to her, even though she's an accused murderer, maybe he would be a good and noble king, and that would make things all right. Because, again, I'm against this guy wanting to be a king at this time in this show because the way it's framed, it feels bad, especially because of past Kamen Rider shows and how they've dealt with men grasping power for themselves and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into that all now. But I don't know. I'm almost compelled to watch the rest of the show. I probably won't anytime soon because I've got other stuff I want to get into. But that's enough talking about the story and the writing and how the characters were handled. Next, I want to talk about the spectacle and the imagery from this episode. And then Kamen Rider Ginga, of course. And the last thing I'm going to wrap up real soon is Kamen Rider Ginga. I like his suit being kit bashed from Meteor. Like, that's the kind of the base suit of it is Meteor. I don't know about his cape. And then maybe his head is like a Kamen Rider Aqua or something, and it looks like he has like Wise Man's eyes or something. I don't know. It's kind of a weird mix, but pretty cool. I liked him coming in. And him making this big threat, and it'll be interesting to see how that's resolved. Hopefully by the next episode, but maybe not. Who knows? I don't know how the flow of these goes. Oh, and then I haven't seen Trinity Form in action. The suit actors are impressive, and the concept of having it cut away so that you can see the person out of suit, either Gates or Waz or even Sogo, acting in a way that mimics and mirrors what I'm assuming Seiji Takao was doing in the suit, is really impressive and really dynamic, but I don't like it. I don't like the idea. I don't like the combination. I don't like the suit. It bothers me. And it's interesting that he's like forcing them into these transformations and like against their will, and they don't like it, and it kind of feels villainous or evil or dark or whatever. But anyway, Ginga was a neat thing to pop up in here. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So I really enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait for the next one. I think it's going to be super interesting. And like I said, that's all I have to say for now. A cool thing I don't want to neglect to mention that I'll just say here before I talk about the suit, which you can see if you're watching the video version of this right now, is that I really like that Yuko twice popped up hole covers from the ground and used them as a weapon and a shield, and gosh, that was really hilarious. I just like the shtick that she did it the one time. It was cool, and then that she did it again, and there happened to be one there. It's funny. Like, it shouldn't work, but it definitely does. Anyway, another Kiva has a fantastic design. I love all the stained glass in the face, how vicious the face is with the, moving mouth on it. The cape that calls to mind, Kiva Emperor form, and then his wings are open on the back, because they're typically furled. Oh, and then those eyes. I wonder if those are supposed to be like the eyes that are on his leg almost. They're up on his shoulders now. And then like the Fwessels have moved down to hip or thigh holsters, and that's pretty cool just because it looks cool, and it kind of flows better with the suit, I think. So that was really awesome. I loved seeing that, and I like how when she first gets it, and I think actually when she transforms later, there's like chains that wrap around her first, and then boom, the suit comes on over that, and it just looks so great. The Kiva suit's great. Oh, and there's roses too that have chains hanging off of them, like up near the top of the the pecs, the chest, where the chest and the shoulder kind of join together. So that's pretty darn awesome. And I think that's like there was they would do little plates of armor in like a spiral formation, all laying on top of each other in that area on like actual legitimate armor, which the Kiva suits, Kiva Emperor, or base form Kiva, Saga, and Kiva Emperor, or not, I guess Dark Kiva is the one I'm talking about, are all supposed to be like suits of armor for the Royal Fingai or whatever. It's spoilery, but not too bad, I think. And then next was I loved seeing, I can't remember all their names. It's Garula, Basha, and then I don't remember the Frankenstein's name, but seeing all them here was really cool. I liked how they were used to, where she like summons them and then she can just turn them into the weapons and use them. They can be used on their own. They float around, they fly around. Like, all that was super dynamic and super action-packed, and I really loved just how good that looked and how fun it was. And that was really entertaining. It's one of the best things. It was a big surprise. It was a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one, you know? So that was a lot of fun. That's enough for me. I have some questions for you. Do you love or hate Kiva? What do you think of Inoue? And what are your thoughts on Zio so far? Go ahead and you can put comments on either YouTube, or you can go to mjmunoz.com and look in the podcast section and find MJ Loves Toku, and you can leave the comment there on the post for this. Also, there will be links for the RSS for the audio only on that. And then please comment, like, share to help me grow the channel if you're enjoying what I'm doing. Subscribe and ring the bell to keep up with everything I'm doing. And anyway, thank you for your time. Thanks for listening, and until next time, be well.